Yeah, I don't have to be out on long tours, big trips for the strange and wacky things to happen to me, and they happen almost every day. But again, I chalk it up to being out all the time. And I had to wait and get okay from some people I know because this one could get me in trouble. I wanted to kind of tread lightly, no pun intended. And this is good for the homeless and the nomads and people like me out on the bike. Probably the most important tip of the week, it will be. And I'm in a place, I can't mention the name of the place. It's a restaurant a lot of people go to that are, kind of, I don't want to say poor, but yeah, the people that just don't have a lot of money. And it's a burger place, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and there's two big ones in the world. And anyway, I'm just going to say I was in there, and I was, just having a little coffee, charging up my phone. I'm not touring right now. I'm just hanging out. So anyway, I see a couple of guys outside of Burger King that are talking to some homeless guys and also a couple of migrant workers that go out to the fields and work. I'm really in that area right now. It's prevalent. And I couldn't hear what they were saying, and the guys were in like a blue van, and it wasn't an official van or government looking or anything. And I observed, this is the thing, the tip in this video, the first tip is awareness. Since I'm out on the bike, I see more, I hear more. I mean, that's the thing about the bike. You're hearing more, see more all the time. And not on purpose, you just, like overhear people. And no big deal. And then I left. I always wondered I wondered for a few minutes what those guys were doing, but it was no big deal. And then I took off down to where some people do a lot of fishing and just kind of sightseeing, and was taking a break, finishing my coffee. And this is like an hour later. And I see that van go by, and I'm like, wow, there goes that van. I'm in close proximity, so it didn't faze me, And I'm in an area where a lot of people hang out. Unfortunately, a lot of homeless people. And it's been a little bit thinner lately, and like we've been talking about in my videos, there's not as many people around there. So I sat there for a minute on the bike, and then I put the bike down, and I walked down to kind of like this vista point. And here comes that van pulling in. That guy walks up, and he's talking to some other people. And I'm like, oh, it must be a tourist. These guys are tourists asking people. And sure enough, the guy walks up to me after a couple of minutes, after I forgot about him again. And he says, hey, man, what's going on? And we're just kind of shooting the shit for a minute. And he says, you don't know where there's any good fishing around here, do you? And I'm thinking, there are some lakes around where I am, and I know people fish these lakes, and there's even a fishing tackle place around. And I go, no, I don't fish, so no, I wouldn't really know. But I said, you can check out the local sporting goods store. And I asked him, are you guys on vacation? He goes, yeah, we're just visiting and looking for a place to fish. And it was weird because thinking back, in retrospect, that guy, now the other guy never got out of the van at the other place either. So it didn't really faze me until now. That other guy's still in the van. And he said, all right, well, just thought I'd check, He goes, what else is there to do around here, And I said, well, you're looking at it. It's pretty much a desert, and there's some skydiving. I said, there's a skydiving thing pretty close by. So he keeps asking me questions, and you know how I am if you watch my videos, man. I'm not into that. So I said, hey, man, I gotta go. And he was real persistent, and he says, okay, man, okay, yeah, no problem. Here it is. These guys were around questioning a bunch of, and they kept doing it. After I left, I rode back by. They were questioning other people, talking to people, and I rode back by them as they were talking to people, and I heard the guy say, hey, man, do you know anywhere around here to camp? And it was a homeless guy. He was talking to a homeless guy. And so I was like, man, these guys are shifty. Awareness, but they were definitely clean cut. And I couldn't see the other guy very well. He was in the van, like I was saying. It was kind of not tinted windows. It was just kind of shaded in there. So anyway, just keeping an awareness. I know that there's a lot of people kind of thinning out. We've been talking about that. And there's some missing people. And I talk about the bike and keeping the bike in between me and the other person using that bike, and also just keeping a buffer. And in that little incident, I used that 30-foot buffer And then as he got closer, I put the bike in between me so I didn't act all paranoid. And also, there were other people in the distance, and so that's the other factor that was there. And also, the fact that I'm sitting there a couple hours before and overhearing these guys, even seeing them, they didn't know I was sitting there. The bike was sitting on the other side of the store. They didn't see, me hours earlier. Awareness, being a cyclist out there. People ask me, and I even get criticized all the time, how come all these things happen to you? Well, it's because I'm out there seeing it. Things don't necessarily happen to me every day, but I see things, shifty things all the time. My tips are, if you're out there living on the fringe or car camping alone, if you're a woman car camping, a man, doesn't matter, or traveling by cars, rest stops. Rest stops are a big one for me. Got a lot of stories on those. Awareness, safety. That's what I'm trying to do here. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. And I'm soaking wet now. All right, man.